Lecture topic: Respecting the Sunnahs of Prophet Muhammad.
Nabi mentioned an incident. There was one poet in India. He was a very good poet, but a person who was free-minded and not too conscious of certain important aspects in Deen. But his poetry was very, very inspiring. So some person who heard the poetry or read the poetry, who was all the way in Iran, he got very affected by the poetry. This person, his poetry was very inspiring in kindling the love of Allah Ta'ala. So he got so inspired that he traveled all the way to India to come and meet the poet. So as he came and he inquired about where is this person, so somebody told him he's in a certain place at the moment, you'll find him there. When he got there, this person was seated on a chair and he was busy, well, the barber was standing alongside him and he was busy having his beard shaved. So this visitor had come all the way, traveled this distance, came with this kind of good feeling and great respect for the poet, and he came purely on a Deeni fervor because he got so inspired in terms of that this poetry kindled the love of Allah Ta'ala in his heart. So he came on that note, and he came thinking this person might be a very, very great buzrug, very great pious personality. That's why his poetry is so inspiring. And he saw him, so now because of this whole background and this effort that he put into coming to meet the person, in that moment he got a shock of what he saw, and he just said something on the spur of the moment. He asked him that, are you busy shaving your beard? So the person realized what he's getting at. So he replied in Persian, in Farsi. So he said to him that I am shaving my beard, I'm not hurting anybody's heart. Now obviously this was a very, very wrong statement, but this is what at that time he sort of defended himself, that I'm not hurting anybody's heart. Now sometimes this is also a very big deception from shaitan, that the main thing is don't hurt anybody's feelings, and after that it's not so serious what you do. Whatever you do, it's your personal life then. But you mustn't hurt anybody. Obviously you mustn't hurt anybody. That is extremely important, not to hurt anybody. But it doesn't stop there, or it's not the only thing. So when he said this, that I'm not hurting anybody's heart, so this visitor replied and said, you are not hurting anybody else's heart, you are hurting the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That this is his Mubarak way of life. He emphasized this, and you are busy having this shaven off. He's informed of the amal of the ummah. So what is this going to bring to his heart? But now this is the other lesson. When he said this, the visitor said this, so the poet on the spot while he's seated there, he heard something. He just finished in a very, very baseless way, tried to defend himself. But now when he was corrected and the reality was brought to him, without a moment of hesitation, he says, Jazakallah ke chashmam baaz kar di. Allah Ta'ala reward you, you opened my eyes. I was in a very big deception, you opened my eyes. And now I realized that what I was doing was not just a trivial thing, it was hurting the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So there's so many lessons in this. One is sometimes we take things for granted. One is we didn't manage to do something. That's one issue. But certain things are, it's not just a matter of not fulfilling the sunnah, it is adopting something that is opposite to the sunnah. It is an adopting of something that is the way of the Yahud and Nasara. So the one aspect was that, for example, a person, there was a certain amal which is sunnah, certain thing to recite, for example, some surah to recite in the morning, Surah Yasin. The person didn't read it, he got deprived of the amal, of that reward. But then there are certain things that, for example, dressing, he didn't dress in the sunnah manner, but in place of it, he dressed in the way of the Yahud and Nasara. Now, this is not just that he didn't do one thing, but in place of it, he did something else also. And this now takes it to a different note. So likewise, one was to keep the beard, which is described as sunnah, but it is wajib. Sunnah in the sense that this is the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the description of sunnah. So anything that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, this will all fall into this broad category of sunnah. But in terms of the fiqhi classification, then it is wajib, and it is sinful to shave it, to trim it. So that was one thing that he now didn't fulfill this, which was part of the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But then the opposite was to do what the Yahud and Nasara do, or the ways of people of the West, and to shave it off. Now, this was obviously bringing pain to the Mubarak heart. But then the lesson to also learn is how this person took the correction. When he was corrected, first he tried to defend himself, but he realized his mistake, then he didn't try to further make any excuses. On the spot he accepted it. When a person accepts his mistake, the doors of tawfiq open out for him. Then Allah Ta'ala will open out the way for him to now progress. So we all are human, we make mistakes, we sometimes err here and there, but we should never try to make excuses for our mistakes. Somebody has corrected us, we shouldn't take offense to that. If that correction was not 100% really, it was something that really applied to us at that time, in the sense that a person didn't do something really wrong at that time, somebody corrected him. The thing is that correction, what he said, was it wrong or right? If what he said was right, so what's the harm in accepting it? Even if we were not wrong in what we did. The person says something right, we accept it. What harm has he done to us? No harm. And if we needed the reminder, we got the reminder. If we were wrong, then we got the correction. So by accepting it, the doors of tawfiq will open out to then improve oneself and to get past whatever one's shortcomings might be.
Allah Allah कैसा प्यारा नाम है आशिकों का मीना और जाम है